Humboldt All-Axess. Pleasure to be joined by Lennie Zalesky, skipper of the wrestling team at Cal Poly Humboldt. Coach, appreciate your time as always.
Welcome.
Successful weekend down at the Golden Gate Country, San Francisco State. Walk us through the weekend and the success had by the Lumberjacks.
Well, we had two dual meets, one with Vanguard and one with San Francisco State. So it used to be a big rivalry, back in the day when they had wrestling between San Francisco State and Chico. So I think actually Frank Cheeks actually started at San Francisco State.
That is correct.
It is correct, yeah. So they made mention of that. Anyway, we ended up beating Vanguard. I think
44-6 is what my notes tell me.
Yeah, okay. And then San Francisco State was, I think, 27-22. Yeah, and so it was a close match, and they got some really good wrestling.
Coach, how long have they been wrestling out at San Francisco State?
For a long time. They won.
How long you guys been back here?
We'll call it a year in end of March.
Coach, that's a huge win. That really says a lot about what you've done with this program.
Well, thank you. Yeah, a lot of help from Drew and those people.
Talk about doing this with your brother. I've not had a chance to meet your brother, but what are the Zalesky brothers like? How are you guys similar? How are you different?
We're very similar in the sense we've been trained at the same high school, same college.
Same parents?
Same parents.
Who's older, who's younger?
I'm older.
Okay.
Yeah, a year and a half. And anyway, we spent a lot of time wrestling, a lot of the same techniques, a lot of the very same philosophy. He's got a lot of years of coaching in him. But anyway, yeah, we've I think the last time we coached together was in Iowa for just a brief amount of time. He came back from Minnesota, joined the staff. He took my position, and then we went up to Alaska. But that was 1990.
Now, growing up in the household, did you guys wrestle out of like bitterness or just brothers and you got energy and let's wrestle? I mean, look, I wrestled all the time as a kid too, and I learned better by junior high that it was not for me if I wanted to, do anything with it after that. But was it competition? Was it heated? Was it brotherly love?
Yeah, it wasn't heated. I think it was more just like the sport of it. And we started wrestling in our living room at a young age. We were actually basketball players.
Okay.
I was in 7th grade. But I only made 2 points my 7th grade year. And I was about 5'3", not real promising. But anyway, I switched actually in 8th grade to wrestling. Loved it the day I got on the mat, and then Jim followed me. And we had another brother as well, Larry, who we all wrestled a varsity match at Iowa in the same lineup at the University of Iowa.
Have 3 brothers ever done that before or after?
Well, I don't
That's
know
pretty
that
impressive.
question. That'd be not at Iowa, I don't think.
And Iowa's not exactly chopped liver when it comes to wrestling. We're not talking about, no offense to Vanguard, but I could see that happening at Vanguard maybe before Iowa. So, okay, who was the best brother of the wrestlers? And what were the weight classes when you all wrestled on the same day?
I was 142. Jim was 158 was the weight class. And then my brother Larry was actually like a 65-pounder, but they bumped him up because the guy got hurt. So. That's
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mom and Dad must have been proud.
Yeah, they were.
All right, let's get back to the Lumberjacks. Okay. I'll go down your family tree if you let me get a chance. So you beat San Francisco State. Who stood out on the mat, and then what is next for the Jacks?
Isaiah Miller keeps winning. He keeps winning pretty handily. So he pinned both wrestlers that day. Josh just came back from a injury, and he lost to the conference champ by 1-0. They forfeited to Jason, and Carson Hatch had a good, he sealed the deal at the end with San Francisco State. But those probably the guys that stood out. And then next is the region tournament. So we had to place in the top 3 in Gunnison, Colorado, of these 13 teams that are going to be there.
So are you going as a team or only bring in guys in the top 8 in the region or something like that?
Well, we're going to take everybody.
Okay, I like that.
So even if a guy wins a match, that's like a point. So it can contribute to the team point. But to go further, you have to be in the top 3 of this region.
And there's 13 teams there.
13 teams, and they're all pretty good.
Okay, before I ask you about that, is there a super regional or is it just the national championships after that?
It's just the national championships.
And where are they?
They'll be in Indianapolis.
Okay.
Indiana.
Now, first, Gunnison, Colorado, for folks that don't know, it sits at like 7,500 feet or something. It's bananas.
8,000, I think.
8,000. Okay, I remember going there once. There's a great photo. In fact, Drew Peterson and I standing outside of the plaque is the highest football stadium, at least in America. Mexico City might be higher if we're doing all North America. But, okay, altitude's where I'm getting, Coach. You're at sea level. How are you going to make that adjustment? Because I know wrestling coaches are tough and anytime, anywhere, but oxygen's real.
Yes, you're definitely right. Well, we did the same thing at Cal Baptist.
Okay.
So Cal Baptist, when we were D2, we wrestled there as well. And so what we do is we just try to get in really, really good shape here. So there was a very renowned guy at Cal Baptist, and I said, we should just go up in Big Bear and train. He says, it's better just to train here and just train hard. Yeah, and so it worked well. It worked well enough. So we're hoping, it doesn't affect, I don't think it'll affect us as much. Our guys have been in really good shape, actually, and we're working on our conditioning a little bit more here these next 2 weeks, and then we'll take the last week off. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of fact. We'll be traveling. It's 8,000 feet, and it's definitely the toughest D2 tournament we've entered.
Well, I remember telling you, last time I was out there, I was just tired in the car driving over the pass, like 10,000 feet. And I'm not kidding. And I swear to God, the car was struggling. I got because obviously car seat oxygen too for the explosion. With that said, don't name names, but realistically, how many guys on your team do you think have a chance to make it in that top three?
Well, I think there's 5 weight classes 5 to 6 maybe, that have shown the possibility of placing, if everything, but some of them just things have to go right. And so we'll see. In reality, if we get two guys through, I mean, it's just a really bear of a tournament. 2 to 3, I'd be really happy, but we'll see.
Coach, appreciate it. Good luck.
You're welcome.
Right back after these messages with Michelle Bento Jackson.